Alright, good morning everybody. What's up, Spikelings? It's me, your cool and refreshing breath of air on a hot August day. Aspiringspike, and welcome back to my typhoon. I'm happy you're here, and I have something very special for you. Don't be scared, take a quick look. That's right, it's Sweet Bant Soulherder Coco deck in Modern. Want to see how it works? Well, okay, but only if you sub, comment, follow, support my sponsors, buy something, restore, and say something nice about Bata. Played some more Bant Company deck. I cut the collector for the third night of autumn. Very small change, but definitely wanting to just jam some more with the list. Especially after Saturday. Muted, not muted. This should be Waldo on the wallpaper. Yeah, I thought it might be fun to like put Esther in the background of the wallpaper, but like in a different spot every day. But I think it'd be, it would stand out. I don't think it would actually work. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna Solitude this Goblin Guide when I've got these walls in my hand. I think I'm just probably gonna get a basic Plains because we're up against Burn. Don't want to fetch and shock. Dude, Burn is it's finally like a popular deck again. It is, maybe not tier 1 status yet, but I think it's like honestly getting kind of close. Where it's like very good against 4-color Omnath, good against Hammer Time. You have a lot of good sideboard cards against Living End. You're like a little unfavored against Murktide, but it's not that bad. It feels, if I as a long time Modern fan, I really like Burn being one of the more popular decks. Togo, thank you for the raid. Welcome everybody from Togo's stream. We're just getting started playing some Bant Collected Company today. Oh yeah, the new deflecting palm drama. Spike, are you gonna weigh in on the drama? A cheater in a game of Magic the Gathering. I, Aspiringspike, would like to weigh in on the Brazilian Burn cheating drama. I would like to bravely declare that cheating in games of Magic the Gathering is bad. I am against all forms of cheating in Magic the Gathering. That's my live reaction to the drama. I've been silent on this issue for too long. I've been completely silent, and I cannot just say nothing any longer. What's the drama? There's a cheating situation. Cheating situation in a Brazilian RCQ where a player tried to got their Goblin Guide blocked by a Worm Coil Engine and declared that and deflecting palm the Worm Coil in attacks and declared that the damage got redirected, and I think it was clear that they knew that wasn't the case. They're just trying to angle shoot a little bit, and I think there was like a little bit more. I can't remember exactly, but I'm against it for sure. I mean, no cap. Obviously, like cheating sucks. It's a problem. Okay, Helix my Solitude. Fair enough. I think I will just get the Soulherder down. There's a good chance I'm going to want to not crack this fetch. We'll see. I enjoy fruit. Thank you for the 14 months. Glad you're liking the stream. No judge at the RCQ. I think there was a judge, but the judge was like confused at the call, I think. Like the judge was confused like what they were asking about or something. Not 100% sure really. What would they Borostrum? Okay, Borostrum is cool, so now I can fetch without worrying about going to 3. And so now I'm going to hope to hit a Eternal Witness to get back my Solitude. Okay, so did not hit either of those. Going to need to now just draw a Solitude. And obviously if we brick, we just need our opponent to brick. Call me Lemon, thank you for the 11 months, appreciate you. No, not very likely my opponent's, doesn't have a burn spell and 3 cards. It's got Searing Blaze. He looks, okay. Dead. Thankfully we have a lot of sideboard cards for the Burn matchup. Kind of incidentally, to be honest, this isn't like I'm not just like this ready to beat the burn matchup, but the Knight of Autumns and the Forge-Tenders definitely have some nice splash damage here. Endurance? I don't think I need the Endurance as a blocker because I just have so many walls. I'll just play the third Ewit. Ewit like back Forge-Tender is pretty good. This is 28 hits for Coco. It's really good. Lamented for the 11 months. Appreciate you. What about Spell Queller list? Spell Queller, I have put in the hero card tier where it's just like not that powerful, but people ask about it a lot because it's a cool card that people like and they really want to be good. But Spell Queller, I think, is like not playable outside of Spirits, but Spirits is also not that good. But like it's like Spell Queller's fine if you have all these tribal synergies, but just like as a 3-mana card, that card is big garbo. Is good against Cascade though. Fortuna, 3 months, appreciate you. Is there any Meddling Mage equity for Rift Bolt or too narrow? I think it's way too narrow. Too narrow. That would be the kind of deck building decision I would make if I felt like the matchup was like really bad, you know? If it was like really bad and I just like needed to have some like super high variance cards like Meddling Mage, then like maybe you could do that. But in the most part of the matchup like this, I think it's pretty good. We have 3 Knight of Autumns and 2 Forge-Tenders. We have Solitudes. I don't think that you're going to need to make like super risky, high variance sideboard decisions like that. If that makes sense. Would I play this deck for a big tournament? Yeah, actually I think I am going to play this deck at my local RCQ this weekend. Assuming that there's no COVID in this house. And assuming I can get all the cards together, which I think I ordered them. I think they should all be here by then. Ordered them last week. So Prismatic Innings in the sideboard would be fine. Yeah, I mean obviously they would be fine, but you know it's a modern Bant deck. There's like thousands of cards that would be fine, and you gotta find the best 15. You know, you gotta find the best 15. We're also a collected company deck, so any sideboard card we play that's a sorcery actually it's got a pretty big cost. Just ain't that free to just play random sorceries. I think that I'm gonna shock. I really need this green source, so we get to recoup some of the life loss right here. They kill my Knight of Autumn, I get to witness it back, and I've got Ephemerate up as well. Gonna start gaining some life. Alright. How's the house going? I mean, it's here. The structural integrity is maintained. Absolutely being maintained. We had to replace the AC units, which was expensive, but thankfully we have AC in the hot Texas summer. Although this room still doesn't get really all that cold. I think I just let this go, unfortunately. Where I just like I want to be able to block this Swift Spear, you know? Be able to block the Swift Spear. Eternity, thank you for the 6 months. Appreciate you. Welcome back. Okay, useless attack. I don't know what they're attacking. This doesn't matter that much. Venser Shaper Savant would be so cool in the second it costs 3. Would I run it if I hit with Coco? Would I play Venser Shaper Savant if it costs 3? Would I play it if it costs 3? I'm playing it and it costs 4, baby! I'm playing it and it costs 4! If it was 3, I'd be playing it too, yeah. Eternity, 6 months? 6 months of Sweet Modern Brews? Hell yeah. Yeah, it's really good against the big mana matchups and living in because they can't force some negation it. Good deck tech for Bayou. Okay, let's play this Knight of Autumn. Titan Creativity. There definitely feels like there's a arms race of Primeval Titan players, you know, trying to find the best variant, you know. And the Titan version is really cool because you're already really incentivized to play like almost exclusively mountains. Of course, it's like always a big issue that Valakut itself is not a mountain, and so I just hate that like Prismatic Omen is a card that like you have to play or consider playing, you know. I can't Forge-Tender this, but I can upkeep Ephemerate my Knight of Autumn. They only have one card in their hand. If it's Boros Charm, we have Forge-Tender. If it's Skullcrack, we could lose. Try to soak in the list a little bit, you know, mentally. I think that I don't love the Jace in the main deck. One nice thing about Primeval Titan 2 is it's just like way more hard castable than Archon of Cruelty, so like the ability to shuffle them back in is like, I think not that big a deal, you know? That makes sense. So I think I'd be pretty interested in playing like the 4th Hard Evidence over the 1st Jace. I think that 1 Prismatic Omen is fine. I think that it's also fine to just accept that Valakut is going to mess up your Dwarven Mine sometimes. Oh, I don't like this Besage in the main deck. I really like Besage in the sideboard. So like, I see you have 2 in the sideboard. I think I would just play 3 in the sideboard, and like, in cyber games, you're not really treating it as a land so much. You're more. I more so like to think of it as a spell that I'm just always gonna be channeling against like Hammer Time, Tron, Titan, Belcher. I would just recommend moving this to the sideboard. I don't know if you still want to be on 26 lands with 4 Ren and 6. You could probably get away with 25, but you could also add another land if you wanted to. Not sure which one. Maybe 4th Steam Vents. I don't know. That's not that good. Maybe 25 seems fine. It's like a mountain, though. It could be okay. That would maybe let you play the Jace Divine Sculptor if you just like love to main deck a Jace. But you could also I would probably recommend playing 2nd Hard Evidence, or sorry, 2nd Spell Pierce to the main. I already recommend the 4th Hard Evidence, but 2nd Spell Pierce to the main I think is pretty good. Okay, so let's get back the Ephemerate, and then. I think it's better to just be flickering the Knight of Autumn, right? I guess I can... Yeah, I can actually just flicker Knight of Autumn, Eternal Witness back. Forge-Tender, play Forge-Tender, win the game. Game was, like, surprisingly close, though, for a game where I was on the play, and I got to Knight of Autumn so many times. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what these Saras and Missaries are for, but I'm not a huge fan of, like... of this, like main decking, all like you're building around Titan. The Titan's the most powerful option, and then you're just like, I'm gonna dedicate these sideboard cards to Sarah's Emissary and Emrakul, and then my Valakuts are really awkward, and I think I'll just like cut those so you can make room for like the Force of Vigors in the sideboard. Just be on the Primeval Titans the whole time, and then your sideboard opens up a lot. Veil of Summer, or Aethergust is also kind of mediocre, but if you feel like you just want that equity against Titan, that's fine, but the Besages will help you with some equity against Titan, so maybe you also could play some Weather the Storms on the sideboard, because Burn is pretty popular. Burn is popping off. Sarah's to be Burn, because Burn is unwinnable. Yeah, I guess I'm recommending, I mean, Sarah's Emissary is also, like, it's not, like, the best answer to Burn. You could play Elder Scale Worm. That would be your best answer to Burn, probably. Or like Resolute Archangel, or because Sarah's, you name instant, they have plenty of sorceries that kill you. You name sorcery, they have plenty of instants that can kill you. Your opponent's on 61. Della, thank you for 11 months. Because this means I've been in my current job for a year now. Congratulations to you. Did I play this in a challenge? Yeah, I played this in a challenge last weekend. There was also some drama. I've already come out strong this morning as being anti-cheater, and this weekend I was stream sniped in round 2, and we lost, and felt bad. And then we lost to Creativity in a match I didn't play that well. I think we're 3-2. So this is game 2. This is game 3. Game 3. Probably gonna save the Mimic to copy Knight of Autumn or Forge-Tender. Oh, is it? Yeah, it does look like our game 2 hand. That's a creativity decks. Which version is my favorite? I think they're good. I think that they're good. I think they're actually like, what would the evidence of stream sniping? Yeah, I don't accuse without evidence, but they are known stream sniper. They've been exposed in the past. Their Twitter bio is like proud stream sniper or something like that. And they also made a lot of very suspect plays. And as soon as we threw the hand hider up, they like immediately and like comically started to play like much worse. It was just like very apparent as soon as we put the hand hider up, they just started punting immediately. It was really kind of funny, kind of sad. I think I'm gonna play this tap just for the so I can play this as a basic next turn. And then we can probably Knight of Autumn kill Rolling Vortex next turn because it's gonna stop me from gaining my life. And again, I feel like it's important for the recap because I know like a lot of people are hyped about this deck. I was really hyped about this deck too, to play it in like the first tournament, and to like, you know, lose to a stream sniper just feels pretty bad, but that's the highs and lows of streaming, you know. So you're down to 14, you're going to go to 13, Knight of Autumn, the Rolling Vortex. Forest here. Yeah, again, Aspiringspike, with infinite bravery and wisdom, come out and declare cheating to be bad. They have lots of cards in hand. Let me have 3 cards in hand. This game definitely would have been, if we had played the wall last turn, like that lines up so much better against the second 1-mana creature too, unfortunately. It's kind of hard to play around. Certainly feeling like we're doing okay, though. Any plans on revisiting Grixis Midrange Shadowless? Yes. Yes. Should Burn play Giganta? No, you lose Eidolon and Searing Blaze. I know it's scummy, but sniping strictly against rules. Yeah, it's against Magic Online's terms of service. It is actually against the rules. Yes. Watch the Emrakul Conference replay. Seem tough to find wins. Bad luck or deck too slow. Like maybe like a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. I think blinking the mana here is fine. Just not casting anything. It does feel like they've got the Skullcrack up, but like if I have to hold up 1 mana, they have to hold up 2. Maybe that's okay. Especially because I could just go like end of turn, Ephemerate my Knight of Autumn, and then I still get the 4 life on the rebound. Okay, we will Forge-Tender this. Awesome. 1 mana gain 8. Pretty good, pretty good. And then I'm just gonna keep going. Just gonna keep going, I think. Dang, you turned it into a life goes on, and on and on and on and on. On and on and on. Hello, Yoshi, think of 2 months. Appreciate you. And they say life gain doesn't win games. Alright. Gotta give props to my opponent for playing it out, though. Okay, Eidolon's very good here. I'm definitely gonna target the Witness still. Got enough life to play with. And then we're going to Ephemerate the Knight, kill the Eidolon. Dude, Knights like Artifact and Enchantment hate being like randomly good against Burn is so brutal for them. Okay, GG. The in real life streaming is like, I tried it out. It is fun, but it's also a bit overwhelming, and a lot of technical issues are like inevitable with just like, you know, how shaky the mobile hotspot just inevitably are, and it's also like a lot too, where there's a lot of downtime. And it's either like I'm either like entertaining chat or like I'm hanging out with my friends, and I think I'd just rather hang out with the boys on the weekend, you know. Billy, thank you for Twitch Prime. Appreciate ya. Okay. Playing against the Yorion deck, so we're in for a battle. Play the Wall of Omens. Could maybe be like Bant control with Yorion. Obviously not as likely. Okay, missed a land. Really hoping to find one off this Ice-Fang cantrip. Don't dress down. Okay, Ice-Fang, that's fine. Bummer. Hotspot, does the game store not have Wi-Fi? I don't know. I've never been to this game store. Okay, the Solitude for that. Definitely still would like to find a land. Here we go. Right on time. I think we'll get second Temple Garden. Oh, I only have one Temple Garden. I guess we get Plains, because I'm pretty likely to want to like have a turn where I maybe play white card plus Ephemerate. But this turn I'm going to play my Soulherder. And then, I don't need to Solitude. I think I'll Solitude the Reef, like, in response to them playing an Elemental, because they're, like, way more likely to, like, play an Omnath or take a line that, like, plays into my Solitude, if I just don't do it right now. Should think about a vlog. Yeah, so for DreamHack, I actually ended up taking a lot of footage for a vlog. I have, like, 3/4 of a vlog. And I decided not to, like, put it together. I don't know. I just decided at the end to kind of enjoy the weekend. I remember back in the day, I really liked Paul Cheon's schlogs. I thought that those were always, like, just so good. And I remember it was there were always one of those videos where I would just be always immediately clicking it. Immediately clicking it as soon as it was, like, live. It might be something I do in the future. I like the idea. But it's also, you know, I put a lot of work in during the week, and then, like, these tournaments are also, like, very difficult, and so it's tough to be, like, just at 100% all week, you know what I mean? Okay, so I'm at 7. I thought I was going to 8. Any updates to Phoenix Prowess lately? Thought about cutting one of the salvagings. I think the salvagings are really, really good. I wouldn't cut one. I don't think it's like the wildest decision, but I wouldn't cut one. But I have not made huge updates. I did play it somewhat recently. I think the sideboard was a little different, but still a deck I like. Still a deck I'd encourage you to play if you like it. Okay, 2 Soulherders down. Head on cards by a decent amount here. Although, of course, that Yorion is going to be a thorn in our side. I'll trade Ice-Fangs just to make, like, Yorion worse down the line. Let's play that Hierarch. And we can actually attack. They don't have a block. Not that this is like a huge deal. Seems like it worked well with Yorion. Yeah, so this is like a very common comment about the deck. I don't think that that's a bad thought or anything. But the reality is, like, Collected Company is not a deck that plays well in a Yorion deck at all. Like, in order to support Collected Company, you need to warp your list like entirely around the card. You need to warp your list entirely around the card, and you're going to draw it a lot less often in your 80 card deck, so you're just like not that incentivized to warp it like this much around the card in an 80 card version, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to get rid of both of these with the intention, or try to get rid of both of these with the intention of making their Yorion worse. They conceded. Awesome. That feels like a little bit of an early concession, but we'll take it. So I've been thinking a little bit about playing the 4th Time Warp in the sideboard. I think if you played the 4th Time Warp in the sideboard, this matchup would be like even better. I think that the presence of the Time Warp combo already it makes the matchup feel like totally fine. My sideboard plan has been to cut the Deputies for the Forge-Tenders and cut the 2nd Endurance for the 3rd Time Warp, and then I'm at 26 hits for Company, and I've been feeling pretty good about it. 1 Endurance, like Endurance yourself, has been like a little bit relevant. Because of Soulherder, you find yourself using Coco more on your opponent's turn than yours. Because of Soulherder, I find it using on my turn more. You almost always just want to main phase Company, with the exception of playing around sweepers and counter magic. Yeah, Fortune is for Fury. Although a lot of these lists also play a lot of bolts, but maybe my opponent's version isn't. But it's mostly for Fury. Could they have traded with Coatl, put 1 damage on marked and yours when Exalted falls off? No, that's not how it works. It just stays at 2/2 until your opponent's turn. The Exalted doesn't like fall off end of turn. Good question though. Slow hand on the draw. We are definitely in a slow matchup though. I think I'm gonna mulligan. Okay, keep this. For better or worse. What are my bad matchups? Mono Green Tron and Living End, I think, are the 2 bad matchups. The 2 main bad matchups. The deck only needs 2 Time Warps max. Makes no sense to keep a random sorcery in the sideboard of a Coco deck. The deck only needs 2 Time Warps max. It makes no sense to have 2 random sorceries in a Coco deck. 2 random sorceries. 2 infinite turn combo pieces is what I like to call them. In fact, it's the presence of this random sorcery that makes this matchup pretty good, and having the extra copy makes the matchup even better. And this is a matchup I like to hedge against because it's the deck to beat. No, it's the deck to beat. I like to hedge against it. I like to have a sideboard card for the deck to beat in the format. I think that I think the 3rd Time Warp really makes the matchup much better. The 4th one would make it crazy good. Postboard 22 months, appreciate you. Like, these infinite combos are like the best way to beat these 4-color decks, I think, for the most part. Like, you see it in the Esper Food deck too. It's just very good way to hedge against them. Although I'd be happy to draw any random sorcery right about now. Golly. I think I'm just not going to attack into another Ice-Fang. Be happy to draw any freaking spell. I guess we can just, like, concede. Grabbing a Reef. Kept 4 lands at bottom Solitude. I mean, this is a matchup where you really want to hit your land drops, but it is what it is, you know? It is what it is. It's like, I mean, if a Solitude was in my hand right now, it's also, like, not doing any much. I guess it's, you know, answering that in 2 turns, huh? We can still just draw Collected Company and be right back into it, though. Be right back into it. Growthing the Stomping Ground is interesting. You're afraid of a Moon Effect? Okay, I'll concede. I blame the Time Warp for that loss. Topaz, 25 months, appreciate you. Yeah, you should just be able to draw Uro. Just draw Uro, it's fine. I don't understand the idea of Time Warp and Coco in one deck. Is it because of the Eternal Witness loop and that's worth it, or rather than just 4 free stops? Yes, the infinite turn combo is what's worth of it. So I mean, I think that this is like, you know, maybe gonna help you guys frame at least how I like to think about this deck. It's that the presence of Time Warp lets this deck play like a control deck, where you, in the early game, you're just free to make as many value plays and as many plays that stabilize the board as possible. In the early game, you can just focus on card advantage, outgrinding your opponent, answering your opponent's permanents, making 2 for 1s. That's all you ever have to think about in the early to mid game, because in the late game, you have this infinite turn win condition that's like inevitable that you'll be able to assemble, or almost inevitable that you'll be able to assemble. Without this Time Warp combo, your opponents can just, a lot of your opponents are just going to be able to ignore you, or outgrind you, or answer your board in a way and get into a dominant position. But the presence of this Time Warp combo gives you a big degree of inevitability in the late game in a very similar way that cards like Teferi Hero of Dominaria, Shark Typhoon give control decks like a degree of inevitability in the late game. I think that's a good way to think about it. At least that's how I like to think about it. I think with 2 Soulherders in hand, I should just jam 1 here. Get Breeding Pool. Bummer. So, yeah, Witness maybe would have been a bit better this turn. Next turn we can go Witness, Forge-Tender, then maybe followed up with a Soulherder, then Time Warp Infinite combo. Maybe we'll see how does the combo work. Yeah, so Eternal Witness plus either Soulherder or Ephemerate lets you blink Eternal Witness and just recur Time Warp every single turn and take infinite turns. Ah! Getting reefed. It's a pretty good hit. So what's nice about just casting Ephemerate this turn is, so you go Ephemerate, pick up a land. Yeah, we could just win. But I think that playing the Forge-Tender and protecting from Fury or Lightning Bolts makes a bit more sense. How's your opinion on how good the 4-color matchup is? I think it's like slightly favorable because of the Time Warp plan, and that's, you know, why we, you know, the 3rd Time Warp is largely a sideboard card for this matchup, but it comes in against like combo decks and blue-white control too. I really don't want to cash into Forge-Tender for a Ren and 6 ping, but I think I have to. And then Noble Hierarch would be such a good draw to just pressure the Ren here. Okay, well, I think I'm almost definitely just supposed to cast this random sorcery, and so that if I just draw a land off the top, the game is over. Let it go, Spike. Let it go. Okay, did not. Although I think Solitude, Exile Reef, attack the Red and 6 is fine. Yeah, I still like the E3 just touch deck. Just playing a lot of it, playing some other stuff. Okay, Prismatic Endings, Eternal Witness is fine. Nice that they like kind of have to do that because of the Time Warp presence. Now we get to start drawing some cards with Soulherder. Counterspell would be kind of a disaster, but I like the Vivian combo deck a lot. I like that it's good in the 4-color mirror. I think that's really important, and the presence of the combo gives the 4-color deck a lot of equity in matchups that it usually struggles in too, which is nice. With Fortuner, if it's stopping the triggered ability of a permanent, can you choose whether the permanent or the trigger? I believe choosing either one is effectively the same. I think either one stops it, but not actually 100% sure. At least like in paper, it should be fine. Magic Online, I think it's the same too. Any new fire takes on Pioneer besides top 8 being mainly Rakdos mid range? I don't know. I think that Pioneer is interesting. I've had some ideas for a little while, but I've just been like really into Modern, and Also, like, all of my local tournaments, like the vast majority of my local tournaments are Modern at the moment too. So that's just kind of still been where my head's been, but I'm sure at some point I will play Pioneer again on this channel. I think Bago King Eternal will be good in Modern. I think, 4 mana, 2/4s that you have to untap with are generally not like ever good in Modern. But boy, have I lost a lot of EDH games to that card. One of my I had a coworker when I worked IT. We shared an office together, and he had a Brago EDH deck, or Bago, the blue-white spirit guy I think you're talking about. And it was nasty. It was just like all stacks. Does 4-color have any bad matchups in Modern right now? 4-color has plenty of bad matchups in Modern. 4-color is bad against Tron. It's bad against Valakut Titan. It's bad against Burn. It's bad against Belcher. It's bad against Dredge. It's bad against Esper Food. Wilderness Reclamation. But it is very good against the decks that people kind of gravitate towards, especially at the local RCQ meta. At least in my area, the local RCQ meta is like swarmed with Murktide and blue-white control and Jund mid-range and decks that are kind of get clobbered by 4-color Omnath. I don't think that that's changing anytime soon. Any plans to play the green-black food deck again soon? Yeah, I think that we might play it again. This deck also seems to have a favorable matchup, but it's it's very grindy and it's kind of complicated too. I don't think I figured out all the nuances yet. Oh yeah, there's also been like at least in my area, there's been like some Yogg. Thoughts on Worship in the side? What is Worship good against? It's like our bird matchup's already really good. It doesn't beat 4-color. I guess it's good against Murktide, but Murktide's a good matchup too. Probably one of those like makes your good matchups better. Bad matchups, probably need to be where your sideboard cards are. Why don't you see me play Control more often? Dude, I've been waiting years for this comment. Why don't we see you play Control more often? Finally, I've changed my brand as the Control streamer. I guess I've probably been off that brand for a while, but back at the start of the stream, I was playing like nothing but Control decks for like the longest time and Control variants all the time. And I still, play some every once in a while. I've been kind of meaning to dust off like the Bance Yorion control list, but the leagues are really long. The white-based control decks in Modern, at the very least, are like, I don't want to say solved, but there's not like that much nuance to them either. And there's also like a lot of other talented players that play a lot of control on stream. Nasif, Harry MTG, Everose, Wafo Tapa. I just go where my heart is. But I am really happy to see that comment in the chat, I'll tell you that. Because I used to get, why do you only play control decks on the stream? This matchup probably isn't great, is it? So that's kind of hard to figure out. I'm currently 6-0 against Titan, largely because of the sideboard plan. So far, I think every single time, maybe I've won one game one on like the back of Solitude. But I've like lost every game one or almost every game one and won almost every sideboard game. I haven't lost to it. I'm like 6-0 against it. And it's like the presence of like the full force Solitude, Meddling Mage, Knight of Autumn, Venser, and the Time Warp combo. I think I'll make like the matchup post board pretty good, and it's pretty bad game one. And I will say this though, matchups that are like really bad game one, but like favorable game two, are usually like not that good matchups. So I don't really know why. I think I've just been like running like particularly well. So I'm not like wanting to just declare Titan to be like this amazing unlosable matchup or anything. But I am 6-0 against it, so I don't feel too bad. Why do you never really grinding Soulherder decks? Yeah, that's my new quest to get that, but as a serious comment. Has Modern been solved yet? If Modern was ever solved, I'd be out of a job. But yeah, yes. No, sir, not yes. What did we say? We've been saying that there are still 6 decks left to discover in Modern, and after that, then Modern will be solved. No, yeah, we said 7, but we discovered one of them. This was one of them. So now there's 6 left. So I have an extra sideboard card for the matchup now, the third Night of Autumn. These deputies have been pretty good. Right now this is 26 hits for Coco. I've been going down to 25 against, like, specifically Titan, where it's like, okay, if you're, like, I think, missing, and I think I'll just go on 2 time warps. I think it's okay if you're missing, on the second creature, if you're hitting, like, a super impactful card, like a Soulherder or Deputy or a Meddling Mage. And so I have been playing 3 Night of Autumns and 2 Deputies, and, like, a lot of times drawing Deputy, wishing it was a Knight. So now that I have the third Knight in the sideboard, let's just try 3 Knight, 2 Deputy. While I'm playing this, instead of discovering the remaining 6, I'll be out of a job by the time I discover the remaining 6 decks in Modern. There'll be nothing left to do. I'll have to play Pioneer. Pioneer. We'll have to decide for the third Night. The Collector Oof, which, so the deck's, like, marginally worse against Tron, but I also just, like, haven't seen almost any Tron lately, so I think it's maybe fine. So isn't your work frustrating since I can never solve Modern, or is it the best job ever since I can go Infinite? It's definitely the best job ever. I'm not like, I think formats in Magic that get solved are really uninteresting, actually. Like, so my first ever experience in Magic was playing Return to Ravnica Innistrad Standard, which was a standard format that was full of, like, decks that you could play any weekend, and also, like, tons of room for innovation and brews and, like, new stuff constantly every weekend, which was awesome. So you would see, like, established decks that have been around the whole time, still doing well, but you would also see players with new brews every weekend, and it was just a really good dynamic. It was just kind of magical, and it's, like, a very hard dynamic to strike. It's, like, not even, like, very realistic, I think, to expect Wizards to, like, ever be able to capture that lightning in a bottle again, but it was a really, really good time. And I even like that very last weekend, Brian Bronduin either won or top 8'd the last Star City Games Open of the format with this really, really cool black-white mid-range deck with Restoration Angel and Obsidian and Geralf's Messenger. It was just the coolest deck ever. And so I went from that being my only experience with Magic. I hadn't really even played any other formats, because why would I? That standard was so good. So that was my only experience with Magic. And then the very next standard format was Return to Ravnica Theros, which was, like, after that first Pro Tour, like, immediately solved. Immediately the metagame was mono blue, mono black, blue white control, with some players playing, like, you know, green red monsters. That was a very bad deck, I think, but I digress. And so we just went from a lot of, like, diversity and innovation to basically 0. And I like it when there's just a lot of change, there's a lot of new stuff to do, because I like to play the game. The Pro Tour 2 being standard, I'm going to look at that at all. If I'm qualified for the Pro Tour, I will absolutely play standard. Since I've been streaming, I've been qualified for 2 PTs. One was standard, one was standard and historic. And I definitely get into whatever format for the PT I'm qualified for. I've even, like, you know, like, most of my paper career has been grinding, like, various standard formats too. It's, you know, I got experience. I haven't always been Aspiringspike. Tech Vitalis, thank you, Simon. Mardu Yorion, that is a title, huh? Trade Inspector, Spirited Companion. This is a terrible Modern deck. Archon of Sun's Grace, Fire's Invention. These are Pioneer cards. Cool list. I think Vanishing Verse is the best removal spell in Pioneer. Or at least that has been my impression. I don't know if it's, like, changed a lot, but I would play, like, the 4th verse before the, like, first Dreadbore. So maybe, like, just go 4 verse 1 Dreadbore or 2 Dreadbore. Maybe even, like, 4 verse 4 push. Just having that 1-mana removal seems really important in a deck like this that is trying to, you know, get to the late game and stabilize. That would be my impression, at least. Okay, let's I think Night of Autumn that Amulet this turn. And attack with the Soulherder and the Ice-Fang. Yeah, especially by like dynamic playing against like these kind of decks in standard, I always felt like you just like 1 mana removal is so premium because your late game is so crazy good. Although Extinction Event is also like very, very strong. I would maybe want to play like 2 events before the first Clarion. I also am kind of the opinion that these Planeswalkers suck. I don't know. What if we just like cut these dopey Planeswalkers? Okay, here's my. I know that this kind of sounds crazy, maybe it is, but I've been playing like some Pioneer. I've been watching a lot of people play Pioneer. I'm starting to think that the Wandering Emperor is kind of a scam in the same way March of Otherworldly Light is kind of a scam in Pioneer, where both of those cards like can line up a bit better in Modern, where 4-mana Planeswalkers are a bit more of a premium in Modern because like the curves are lower, so you go over the top of the 4-mana Planeswalker, exiling Primeval, Murktide Region's like really sick, of course. But in Pioneer, like 4-mana Planeswalkers are very common, they're all over the place. And I don't know, I just kind of feel like Wandering Emperor is kind of mid. A scam is maybe a bit hyperbolic, but I think that people like know that like Wandering Emperor and March of Otherworldly Light are like Pioneer playable or Modern playable cards, and so they just like kind of a little bit shoehorn them into these Pioneer decks, and I don't actually think they're that amazing here. And also like it doesn't play that well with Fire's Invention, right? There's some anti-synergy there where you like sorcery speed your you have to sorcery speed your Wandering Emperor. So what if we just played Archon of Sun's Grace and more Yorions, baby? I did that in the first like standard PT I qualified for Arena. I played a Gabriel in the Seaf list that was just main decking. I think it was a 60 card deck that was main decking a lot of Yorions, which is weird. I think you needed like your sideboard cards to be effective in that metagame or something. Can't really remember the dynamics, to be honest. But like I think just like main decking 4 Archon, 4 Yorion, 3 Yorion just feels very clean to me. Cyber looks fine. Don't think I would really change too much for the sideboard. I want these pushes in the main though, which opens up your sideboard some. Maybe you want to play more Go Blanks if the Izzet matchups are rough. I guess you just have to identify what your bad matchups are and then pick some sideboard cards. My brewing theory is you build your deck with all 4s and trim things to fit you want. Yeah, I've seen that like method a few times. I think it's interesting. It's always cool to see how different people brew. Okay, go in game 3. Like for me, I've written a few articles on this, but like my brewing process always starts with an idea. Like here, we got a chatter, spies come in and say, Spike, Soulherder, Band Collecting Company, here's a draft, And then it starts with that idea. Then I start to make like changes and try to maximize that idea, rather than just like put a bunch of 4s in the deck and start cutting. But I have seen that strategy like in like control decks a lot. Just put like every 4 of that's viable in a control deck and start cutting. But it also like is a little bit of a waste of time because I find a lot of times you're putting cards in a deck that you're just gonna be cutting no matter what. But maybe don't put it in. Isn't the sideboard the most important decks in Modern? Then should Yorion not be played at all? Canister actually agrees with you there that he thinks that Yorion is bad for your overall match win percentage and says that he will never register Yorion again, or he had an article with that title, at least. Which I think is interesting. It's definitely true to some extent, but the reality is that the Yorion Omnath deck, its role in the metagame is to be the fair deck that beats the other fair decks, and it's weak to the linear decks. And it's kind of like, the end boss of the fair deck gauntlet. It's always going to be, I think, favored against like the black-based mid-range decks, against Murktide, against Grixis Shadow, against 60-card blue-white control, and I think it's always going to have a harder time against the more linear decks like Tron, Belcher, Dredge. Okay, so we're on to draw. We have a lot of dynamics in this hand that you really, really want. You really want to have a Hierarch on turn 1. Venser is one of your best cards. You have Witness and Soulherder to flicker your Venser a lot. If this hand just draws a fetch land, we have a turn 3 Venser, which should be good enough. I think I'm going to keep this hand. We also have Ice-Fang the cantrip on turn 2. My opponent's on a mulligan, so they're like less likely to have a super explosive draw. And I think this hand has enough upside on the draw to keep, but definitely scary. This is deck of a plan against Torpor Orb or similar effects. Not really. So like obviously, if like Hushbringer and Torpor Orb become more popular, then yes. Like if you want to play this deck, if you feel like this deck, I mean even like actually if Torpor Orb and Hushbringer are really popular, I'd probably just recommend not playing this deck. We did draw the fetch land. Exactly what I asked for. You know what I mean? It's like if Rest in Peace is super popular, you don't want to play Dredge, and if Life Gain is really popular, you don't want to play Burn. So I think that's the real answer. But like if this is the deck you pick up and you still want to play it despite like your local metagame playing Torpor Orbs and stuff, then at that point you'll play Prismatic Ending in your sideboard, and maybe you'll play a Beseiju in the 75, and you'll have some answers to it. But like right now, I think that the strategy is just like dodge it and like not, or at least for me, is dodge it, not play it if those effects are really common. Yeah, you could play. I don't know if I would play Kosali Pride Mage. I'd probably play Dusky, whatever, Duskwatch. Okay, I mean, if my opponent has a turn 3 Titan on the play, on a mulligan, good for them. I'm not surprised there's some ending in the sideboard. Not sure what the cut is. I mean, it's in a Collected Company deck. I just don't know that you have the luxury, right? Okay, so I've got a few options here. I can play Soulherder and then set up for Venser, bounce 2 things next turn. That line is bad, obviously, if they just kill me with Titan next turn. The only way I can beat them killing me with Titan next turn is drawing Solitude right now off Ice-Fang. But I think that I'm just like so likely to win if I can untap with Venser up next turn that I should just take like this line, main phase the Ice-Fang. I would also play a Hierarch if I found one. Okay, and then we've got the Time Warp combo coming up. Give me Venser, land so they can't pay for pact. Yeah, I've won a couple games actually with that line. We might because they have Dryden player. I think we're likely just dead if they Titan me here, but we'll see. Thank you, General, for 3 months. Glad you're liking the stream. And Ben for the 24. Happy 2 years. They do have a bounce land. They can Titan if they have it. I thought Soulherder bounce 2 things. Yeah, I think that line is fine too. But my thing is, like, if I'm untapping with instant speed, Venser up, I'm really likely to win because that would imply that I didn't die this turn too. So then bouncing Crumbling Vestige means if they're Titaning, they probably have a Summoner's Pact instead of Titan. Right? Yeah. So it looks like they're maybe trying to play around this Venser. Ephemerate in response to the first land looking for Solitude. So I'm kind of thinking I might want to save Ephemerate to save Noble Hierarch from Valakut triggers. And so I can kill them with the Summoner's Pact. Let me see what they bounce with the Boros Garrison. Yeah, I mean, if they just go like, if they just get Valakut, which I think they're very likely to just get Valakut, I can Ephemerate my... Okay, so Valakut is 12 damage. 12 plus 8. Yeah, then I would be able to bounce the Dryad and kill them, but I think I'm just dead if they get Valakut though. Because that's 12 plus 8. So I have to try to find Solitude off the Ice-Fang, I guess. Alright, my win streak against Titan maybe comes to an end. 4 outs. Bummer. Oh, yeah, also the Dryad attack, yeah. Okay. Make him do it. Never look! Never look! Oh, never look. Never look. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna keep this hand. I think I'm gonna put back the Deputy, so that if they kill one of my Hierarchs, I can still turn 3 company. Maybe a little risky. Our Revenge? Could be Tron, I guess. You know, it's like in some ways more likely to be Tron than Titan, because they played Force Expedition map, and like Mono Green Tron plays way more of those. But like also like Mono Green Tron almost never keeps a 6-card hand with Expedition map Forest, and so it's in that sense, and like the more meta sense, more likely to be Titan. So we get to hopefully get our Revenge. How many 5-0s with Bant? I think we have 3 5-0s with Bant. Yeah, I think 3. They search Valak at XG, you could save the Noble and bounce the Dryad, and they didn't pact. Yeah, I mean, I was just dead to the 2x Valakut, though. I know, but, so I mean, that's why we're looking for the Solitude. But, just dead. Yeah, I don't... Comes to an end. 4 outs. They got a Valakut here. Oh, that was the Dryad attack, yeah. I think I'm just gonna main phase the Coco. Holding up Solitude's a coward move. What? No, give me my wall. Fuck, what happened? So I can't watch clips, I guess. What the? I must have clicked cancel instead of okay. I don't even want that wall. Damn it. My opponent's grabbing a Dryad here. Probably dead then. Yeah, I think we're dying anyways. Well, they have the extra land with the Dryad. Yeah. The user interface on Coco is so bad because it's like the left side option is cancel, right? And if you click that, it doesn't go. Are you sure you don't want to put any creatures into play with company? And like I feel like at least like usually like you would feel like it'd be yes on the left and no on the right, or I believe that's how the interface is. But Magic Online is just so like punishing for no reason, where. Like if you're in a search, if you're like fetching and you like click outside of the box of the fetching for some reason, it'll just assume you want to get nothing, and it will never ask you, hey, this looks like a very obvious misclick. Are you sure? Is that we're just double checking with you? I just feel like it should it shouldn't be that hard to fix. I don't know. Yeah, we'll switch to Arena. Arena probably says, are you sure? Did I drop the wrong event once? I did! Although, that one does ask you, are you sure? That one's on me. Yeah, maybe I'm the only one that has any of these problems, right? I'm the only one that ever misclicks on Magic Online. Yeah, the options are no and okay from left to right. It's just like, please. Is Wall of Omens better than Ice-Fang? Are you saying you want to play Wall of Omens because it pitches to Solitude? I think we definitely have enough white cards in the deck for Solitude. And then Ice-Fang, like, very occasionally will trade for like a Dryad and like does put some pressure on your opponent, so I think it's a bit better. But I don't hate the thought. We definitely have we Frank Karstened our way into enough white cards here. 20 is plenty. Yeah, exactly. Like, I've clicked the Wall of Omen, or Wall of Blossoms. I've clicked the Wall of Blossoms. It's highlighted. Why? And I go over and I click, and like, and cancel is the left option. It's like, I've already clicked one, like, I don't know. The interface is pretty bad. I remember, like, I can't remember what deck it was, but I was playing Coco for the first time in years on stream one time, and I just kept misclicking. It's just so unintuitive. What was the record for my vid I dropped? I think it was 3-1. It wasn't like crazy or anything, but it was a PTQ. Okay, let's keep this. Meddling Mage has been so good against them. Solitude Ephemerate's good against them. Knight is good. Venser's great. Maybe need to draw one hand. Only 24 kits off Coco the sideboard. I believe it's 25. You might not be counting the Glasspool Mimic, or maybe I sideboarded differently from I usually do, but I don't think I did. So usually it's 25, and so this is like the one exception to my rule of not going underneath 26 hits for Collected Company is this matchup. And it's kind of like maybe a little experimental, which is maybe code for not that good, but I digress. The idea is, in this matchup specifically, card advantage doesn't matter as much, where like I don't think you in theory mind so much if you just hit one creature off Coco, if that creature is like a Meddling Mage or a Knight of Autumn, you know? And like I don't think you care that much about just hitting like a random wall. And I am 6-1 in the matchup, kind of with that sideboarding philosophy, but I'm not, 100% sold on it either, I guess. Alright, lands or just Knight of Autumn them out of the game would be great. Knight of Autumn to land them out of the game instead. How does the deck beat Infinite Life? This deck actually can beat Infinite Life. It's fine to not beat it, but you can beat Infinite Life by taking infinite turns with Time Warp Witness, which usually wouldn't do the case because you still deck yourself, but you have Endurance, so you can, I believe, loop Endurance to not deck yourself. Although maybe you still do deck yourself with Endurance loop, right? No, you could just go to discard. Yeah. Yeah, just Soulherder your Endurance and then go to discard. Yeah. Deck tech for Kurt. If you're listening to the chat, I can take a look. Come on, land! Damn it! Not like this. That's my friend Mickey in the sitting on the floor picture. Okay, opponent's also on a slow draw, thankfully, when we're stumbling. Alright, and I draw another Meddling Mage. Crispicula and Crispicula's Apprentice. The Refrigerator, thank you for the 7 months. Thank you. Yeah, I know the conspiracy board's looking a little... It's seen better days. Refrigerator, 7 months. Coming here from YouTube Good Prime. Thank you. Appreciate all the YouTube people coming by to Prime. Bant? Geistblade. Oh no! Dang it. Alright, they're not gonna go easy on us here, huh? I guess they could have attacked first. Maybe they take 4. Okay, so I will say that Geist of St. Traft is one of those cards that is really cool and really sweet, and is one of those cards that it's very easy to like trick yourself into playing it, if that makes sense. It's one of those cards that's just very easy to be like, yeah, you know what? I think Geist of St. Traft is actually pretty well positioned at the moment, but it is unfortunately, I think, one of those cards that is rarely well positioned and is slow, is very blockable. Like you're playing Geist of St. Traft, your opponent's playing Ragavan, your 3-mana creature trades for... Stop, opponent. Your 3-mana creature trades for their 1-mana creature, and that's just a big problem. That being said, I don't think that there is anything... Like, it's hard... Like, I think that wanting to just suit up some Geist of St. Trafts on your Friday Night Magic is fine. I also do think though that the best like mid-range Stoneforge Mystic decks that I've worked on play Fervent Champion. Fervent Champion has been a card I've been like super impressed by. It is a card I really recommend trying to play in these kind of decks. If you really have your heart set on Bant, I also think I don't like these main deck Eternal Witnesses. I think that they're very slow. I understand that Bant like is interested in some card advantage, but I think without like Ephemerate to abuse the ETB trigger, Eternal Witness is not a particularly good card. And I would recommend instead of Eternal Witness playing Toski as Toski is a card I always liked in Bant Bant Stoneblade. A little underpowered these days maybe, but you know, I think you have to be okay with being a little underpowered if you're playing Bant Stoneblade. But Toski is a card that I always liked a lot in this archetype. Makes a lot hard. It's resilient. It's uncounterable. Gets a lot of card advantage. Is at least a better card advantage spell than Eternal Witness. Although it may just be better to like main deck 4 Endurance. Main deck 4 Endurance instead of the Witnesses. That's probably like the better line. I would main deck the 4th Noble Hierarch before the 4th Birds of Paradise. I think Exalted, especially in your Geist of St. Trapp deck, is more relevant than Flying. Besides that, I don't have like too many notes. Sorry. I might not play the. I would probably play the 4th Solitude over the 3rd March of Otherworldly Light. Kind of a small thing. And then I don't think you need these Path Exiles in your sideboard with Solitude and Teferi as answers to Murktide, like you and Hammer and stuff. I think that this will be fine without it. I would be more interested in Force of Vigor for like the Hammer Time matchup too. Because that's like the area where you like I think need more coverage with Path, but Force is like way better, and you have plenty of answers to Murktide if you play that 4th Solitude. I think the rest of the sideboard looks like largely fine. Hold on, let me take this turn. Yeah, let's have some fun. So I'm just gonna bounce that Growth Chamber again. Are we playing double Masters Sealed right now? When posting MTG content, do I find a major difference in viewer retention and then win first match rather than lose it? As far as Twitch, I don't really notice a difference. With YouTube, I never check any of the numbers ever. So I don't know. Yeah, I think I just want to make that switch, the Path to Force of Vigor. Just the sideboard seems like largely fine. Yeah, but my strategy with YouTube is never check any of the numbers ever. And it's been working pretty good so far. You should get a check every month. My editor handles everything. Oh no, you're alright. I am at 24 creatures. What did I do differently here? I guess I need to go up to 25. I don't know what I did different. Yeah, turn 1 Dark, turn 2 Geist is definitely very sweet. Hard to fault you for that. Okay, we'll definitely keep Meddling Mage and Solitude Ephemerate. I cut the 4th Coco. Oh yeah, that's what I was cutting the 4th Coco. That's right. Okay. Right, because I was bringing the Vensers. Okay. That's why we lost last round. Good draw though. Morning Zeke. Yeah, number of Coco hits doesn't matter when you just click no. Ugh. Okay. I'm actually pretty happy they're dismembering the Hierarch instead of my Meddling Mage. Another white card would be really nice next turn, so I can go like Solitude the Dryad, then Witness back Solitude with Ephemerate still in hand. Check every month, pay editor, close YouTube. Yep. I don't even open YouTube; it just goes to the bank account. But I love that editor; he's so good. Why no Borderless Meddling Mage? Dude, they're like 7 tickets, but I'll get them. No, they have a second Dismember. It's brutal. What the hell? So maybe I'll go Witness back. Okay, that's not too bad. Stagal, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Well, I'm saying your name right. It might actually be good here to like get the Ephemerate witness loop going and go like witness back Meddling Mage, pitch Meddling Mage, Solitude Dryad, and then next turn I can go Deputy, Amulet, Ephemerate, Eternal Witness. I think that sounds really good at least. And if it sounds good, it can't be the wrong line. I don't get to tune often. You're playing some Turbo Emrakul deck. I played that last night. It was awesome. Hope to see a tune list at some point. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still, like, obviously keeping it in mind. No, they're tightening me anyways. This is outrageous. Dude, my opponent's on a mulligan to 5? No, they kept 7. Sorry, they kept 7. But still, a 7-card hand that, like, turn 4 Titans through a Meddling Mage and a Solitude is crazy. Yeah, I think that last list I had was probably, like, at least I don't have any more ideas how to maximize it further. It's, like, maybe a little too slow, but definitely a very fun deck. Although I guess we're still, like, not doing so bad here, to be honest. Yeah, we're still not doing too bad. Big Oofda, 14 months, appreciate you. Because they can't second Titan, right? They go Growth Chamber, T-West, that's 6 mana, but they need 3 more to Titan. Can you respond to Deputy, Exile Trigger with Ephemerate and Exile 2 permanents? No, you can't. The general, like, the way it always works, and this is, like, not what a judge will tell you, but this is the reality. If the text box is all one big text box, you can't blink it in response to get the effect twice. If the text box is broken up into 2 separate boxes, you can. I believe it works like that way 100% of the time. You know, you will not get this knowledge from a judge. They're not hasting the Titan? What am I missing? So they get T-West, transmute. They can Dryad, but they don't have a land to play. If they cast the Pact, they just die. Yeah, okay. Okay, white card is nice, so we can go Ephemerate Witness, pick up Solitude. Deputy of Detention, the Amulets. And Solitude, the Primeval Titan. They have to pay for Pact. Their hand is Summer's Pact, land that they picked up with a bounce land, and a mystery card. Give me back that Knight of Autumn, I guess. So I unfortunately am out of white cards. Am I really gonna have to? Oh, I guess I should have flickered the other. No, never mind. I couldn't have. I might have to Solitude the Dryad to stop the Valakut triggers if they go for Dryad here. Although they can also go for Titan. I just have to pass. Could also maybe Ephemerate the Deputy of Detention. It's kind of risky, but it would keep me with the Ephemerate going. Get a land from Graveyard to Hardcast Solitude. Yeah, I can do that end of turn if I need to like set up for Hardcast Solitude next turn. I thought about doing a main phase. It didn't seem necessary. Deck tech for puppets. Is Extraction Specialist not good in the deck? I would play Renegade Rallier over Extraction Specialist because it can get back fetch lands, but your 3-drop slot's already pretty clogged. Alright, another day on twitch.tv/Aspiringspike. Another Humans deck tech and Pioneer. I like Pyre of Heroes a lot. No Pyres is interesting. I mean, it's obviously not bad. But I think that this more like just good cards, just going in is totally fine. Okay, I will say, I don't know if I am also like as in love with like this. I know that the humans community has this love affair with extraction specialists, but without Pyre of Heroes, it's a lot worse. One card I will say I would be like a little bit interested in is playing some copies of Glasspool Mimic. Maybe like just like one Glasspool Mimic over Lair of the Hydra, or maybe you could get a second Glasspool Mimic over like the second Hingegate pathway. But like Mimic copying your Thalia's Lieutenant does seem like somewhat important, right? Okay, they got they cast Primeval Titan. And it doesn't, the log doesn't tell me what they got, but it looks like they got Bounce Land T West. Or no, they got Stronghold T West, okay. Yeah, Venser off the top would be a W. Where's the Ephemerate? But just like being able to copy your Lieutenant seems kind of nice. It's obviously a collected company hit too. Be gone, Primeval Titan. So that's just something I might change, but I will say like the look of this list is pretty clean. You can also like play just like 4 Elite Spellbinders over Extraction Specialist. That could be a better split. Charming Prince is maybe a card to just not play if you're not playing Pyre of Heroes. I could see that card being kind of garbo. Like maybe just 4 Thalia over second Charming Prince is good. You can play Kitesail Freebooter also over like you could do something like 1 Spellbinder still, no Specialist, no Charming Prince, 4 Thalia, 4 Kitesail Freebooter in the main, and then move a bit more in on the Unclaimed Territory lands. Oh, you should probably just be actually playing. Oh, so here's the other one. I missed it. Maybe 4 Mana Confluence if you do that. Although the mana is just so good if you don't play Freebooter, so maybe just that's the reason to play Specialist. Kind of spitballing, right? Because there's just like a lot of options. One thing I do like, I think that you do want to play Rest in Peace over Hearse. I know that crewing Hearse and attacking is important, but Rest in Peace is like so close to 2 mana win the game against the Izzet decks, and the Izzet decks are really popular, and that's the main matchup you want the Hearses for, so I think I want that. I also think you do want the Brutal Cathars in the sideboard for the mono green matchup. Probably over like the Valorant stances for me. Especially as the best part of the humans deck, in my opinion. Yeah, I know people just love that card. I could just be totally wrong about it, but I think it's kind of. I don't use this word lightly. I think it's kind of mid. I don't know. I think it might be mid, chat. Yeah, Luminarch Esprint actually. Yeah, over Charming Prince. Yeah, forgot about that card. I like that one. Especially as good to get the Metal Farm removal. That's fair. Yeah, I think that you know, I haven't been playing as much Pioneer, so I'm definitely like not in the mindset that this Rakdos deck is just you know, the best deck or the deck to beat, whatever. I found Esper to be too slow. That's fair. That's fair. Might be right. Okay, Dryad, and then what are they killing? If they kill the Deputy, I can go Ephemerate back the Deputy. If they kill the Solitude, that's fine. Just have another one. Yeah, another Summoner's Spike trigger coming. Dude, winning this game would be so sick. So we got a lot of options. I think they all basically result in the same outcome. But I think I want the outcome that results with me having the Mimic in place. So what I'm going to do is go Ephemerate Witness. Get back Solitude. Pitch Solitude to Solitude. Exile the Dryad. And then Glasspool Mimic the Deputy to get rid of the Amulet. And then I can potentially flicker this at some point. And then flicker this Deputy to get all the Amulets out of the way. But I definitely don't want to let them untap with the Amulet. Ephemerate Deputy get all the Amulets, then Deputy Dryad. Maybe that line's better. I don't think bouncing 2 bounce lands here is good, but the Venser's a very good draw, though. Especially if they're going to go, like, float 2 mana, bounce land, TOS, transmute, Titan, we bounce the Titan, we maybe just kill them. Pyre is too slow if you don't play the Black Priest with a lot of sack humans. Well, that sounds really sick. Ugh. That's gross. They didn't even TOS for that. What's the incentive behind playing this deck right now? It's been really good. Our record's really high with it, but lines up well in the metagame, and Collected Company is a reason to play this version over the the 4-color Omnath deck. What am I doing about this engineered explosives? I need to find a Meddling Mage. I can also Venser, bounce, Celestia Sanctuary. Go blue, green, red. I think I'm just gonna pick up the Solitude. Keep the Ephemerate up. I need to cast it end of turn. It's just free to cast it end of turn. Don't love playing this into the explosives. Somebody block the construct on the witness, and I'll be able to ephemerate the witness, get back a witness. What was the last two? It was to Titan. Been playing a lot against it today, I guess. Can counter E, it's your turn. Now they can just replay it. This isn't counter, just bounces, right? Bounce copy to give Venser up 2 creatures. The problem is that this is legendary, so copying Venser is not. Doesn't really do it. Okay, weird that they would play the bounce land before getting their amulets back. Don't you Venser and a Turtle Witness to rebuild? Oh yeah, I guess that line's pretty good, huh? Although I guess I was kind of assuming that they would main phase. But they're going to try to get the Ephemerate too, which is so greedy. But correct, I guess. Alright. Turn too late, Meddling Mage. A turn too late. Yeah, I should have done that in response. I didn't see the line. It's fine. I think I just need to name Summoner's Pact here. I know they only have one in the deck. The problem is, like, I'm pretty cool to Dryad and Titan here, so I know they have Summoner's Pact in hand. And I can also now ephemerate my Glasspool Mimic in response to Engineered Explosives being sacked and the name Titan if I want to. They have 2 Titans and 2 Dryads in the deck. I think this is fine. Or maybe it was better to Venser the Witness. Maybe it was better to Venser the Witness again. To rebuild, right? I can... Yeah, I think I messed up. I should just Venser the Witness. But I guess this effectively does the same thing. This is actually the exact same thing. Okay. We just needed to brick this turn. I think that this line is fine. This has been a very difficult game to play. Taking 4. And a Summoner's Pact. Oh wait, no, we're not just dead to this, are we? Oh no! Oh no, fuck! Ah! I just... No. Fuck. Yeah, rough way to lose. I don't know why I just totally blanked on that. It was just like the concert token was just so irrelevant up until that point that I just totally discounted it. They also played the double strike land for turn 2. Ugh. I think it's a mulligan. Hard to mulligan like the fast Cocos. That's some new cyber tech against Orb Containment Priest. Well, you have Solitude for Containment Priest, but I don't have cyber tech for Torpor Orb. Like if Torpor Orb is really popular, which it's not, I'm not gonna play this deck. That's my cyber tech. And if you at your like local metagame like are worried about your opponent's siding in Torpor Orb against you, that's fine. Like metagaming against you, that's fine. You can play Prismatic Endings in your sideboard, but I'm not going to. Or you could play the Duskwatch Recruiter too, or not. I always call it the Recruiter. The okay, don't look at this list, but I do have Duskwatch in it, so I need to whatever that card is called. Outland Liberator. It's not even called Duskwatch. Okay, Outland Liberator. Okay, don't look at that one though. Ooh, Living End. Okay, Living End definitely a tough matchup. Usually need to draw your main deck endurances. Yeah, I've been liking the swap of a new for the night. Let's say thank you for watching your video, especially for a single Mancer. Give me 5 to play competitively. Awesome, awesome. I love that deck. A friend of mine has also been playing that deck locally, playing some RCQs. Yeah, I'm thinking of Duskwatch Recruiter from the old Druid deck. How's the Storm matchup? It's amazing. So good. Can't even deputy these Riverwinders. Think there could be a mono green devotion deck. Mono green devotion was actually like a really good deck before they banned Once Upon a Time. It was a deck that was like one of the few that lined up well against Hogak, and because Hogak was like a tier 1 strategy at the time, there were not many people weren't playing like a ton of lightning bolts and fatal pushes, so your mana dorks lived a lot of the time. Since they banned Once Upon a Time and Hogak and stuff, I haven't liked mono green devotion since then, where just like untapping with your mana dorks is rough. The counterspell being in the format now is really rough, but there's a lot of power. There's a lot of power to the deck. Undeniable. Okay, so I think I'm cutting all the walls. This is... I think I played like 2 Solitude. I've been like waffling on those numbers a lot, but it feels okay. I think I might cut the 4th company too, because you're upping the curve. How's the meta for Burn? Burn is like is finally, after years of like of Oko and Uro, Ragavan, it's just finally clawing its way back into the metagame. It's pretty good. It's doing a lot of winning. I think that Burn is a deck with like a lot of very even matchups, and then a good matchup against Omnath, which is nice, and a lot of like powerful sideboard cards to hedge against like anything but not everything. So like with Burn, you can hedge against Living End, or Titan with Living End with like Silence, or Rest in Peace, and you can hedge against Titan with Magus of the Moon. You can hedge against Hammer Time with Leyline for my endurances. You can hedge against Hammer Time with your Deflecting Palms, but you don't really have enough room to sideboard against everything. Yeah, Burn is favored against Omnath. So like here, I know that when the games where they have like, Solitude into Omnath into Fetch Land, it feels like it's it's rough. But you can ask any 4-color Omnath player; they'll tell you that the Burn matchup is hard. It's just like the games you lose as the Burn player are super demoralizing. They're super demoralizing, so it doesn't like feel as good as it actually is, but it is pretty good. You can ask any Omnath player. But boy does it like the games you lose they deal a lot of psychic damage to you. My event is August 27th. Any chance of more Illuminancer content before that? There's a chance for sure. That is a deck that's on my like circle back to list for sure. Yeah, Meddling Mage is looking really good. Oh, we might just get turtled and killed here. Especially good if you're deflecting palm and blocking Wurmcoil. Yeah. High drama. That's a W. That's a W for us. Low-key expecting a Rhino cyber plan. What did opponent think they would happen? They would think. I think they thought they'd put a 3/2 into play. Oh, good top deck. They knew what happened. They're just trying to put a blocker into play. Use their mana. Might still have rhinos. You can never be too careful. That's pretty good. Just jam a Coco, I guess, though. Might have force, that's fine. I think I'll take Ice-Fang Soulherder, get the cantrips going. Yeah, sorry, I'll mute my phone. And I'm so bad about it. That's what, you know, Twitch needs a union and performance reviews, so any streamer who leaves their phone on vibrate gets 10% deduction in their pay, or in their split with Twitch. Yeah, are we unionizing? Are we unionizing? Hey, what was the deal? I remember like a headline last year, or I don't know when. Okay, I remember seeing a headline at some point. I'm just every dumb internet guy ever. But I remember seeing a headline at some point that was like TCG player union. Does anybody remember that at all? Does anybody remember that at all? Let me just slam the Coco here. The union tip got thwarted. Yeah, I thought that was the details. I was talking about it this morning with Esther a little bit. But what if we unionize TCG player when we move over there? They crushed their vote. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. I was just talking about this morning, like right before we went live. So I haven't like done. I meant to do some research, but oh yeah, Bernie tweeted about it. That's right. Yeah. So like, what if when I go over there, I push for the TCG player union? I think that might be kind of cool. We'll see. I need to like look into it and like talk to people about it, but I think that might be fun. I've thought about like what if I had infinite money. If I had infinite money, what I would do with my time. And I thought for sure it'd be like really fun to like travel across the country and go to like just get jobs at Amazon and Starbucks all across the country and just try to get them unionized. I think if I had infinite money, that's what I would do with my time, but don't have infinite money yet. Come on, put up a vote to union. We're gonna crush all the unions in the chat, of course. Crush all the unionization in the chat. Can't wait to watch your videos and cool stuff. Yeah, I mean, like if TCG player lets me go because I'm wanting to start a union there, then you know, fuck them. That's even like, I'll just say it's illegal. I don't even know if it is. It probably isn't. I don't know. It's also like, you know, I love working for Channel Fireball. I love working with the Channel Fireball guys. They're great. I really like them. I'm also like, you know, at the point where if I lost my you know, writing contract or my content contract, I would be okay. It'd be fine. I would get another one somewhere else, and I could also be fine without it for a while. I don't know. I mean, I also think for like those are the kinds of people you need to to start the process if you know they do need a union or something, right? Uh-oh. So they'll fire me for when I start union. However, they'll fire you for another reason. Yeah. Again, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I don't really know. I'm also like, I don't even know if I'm like considered a real employee, a TCG player. Like I'm just not probably, but who cares? Yeah, that's a good way to phrase it, Mac. Okay, love to see them cycling here because I'm just drawing my Meddling Mage next turn. So now I have to have Mystical Dispute here. Yeah, Leyland stops Endurance, that's why they bring it in. Or, you know, Subtlety blue card, I guess. Or Bounce Spell into. Okay, they can have a lot of stuff. Oh no, they can't have Bounce Spell because I have Ephemerate. Yeah. Mana Symbol, 27 months. Hello, good from Mexico. Yeah, how's your worldwide tour going, Mana Symbol? I'm on vacation less than 90 days. Looking to get back to Magic Sphere. Glad you like the stream, Mana. Happy that your travels are still going well. Okay, we should be pretty safe to play the Ice-Fang here, because if they bounce my Meddling Mage, you can just replay it. Venser's pretty cool. Don't think I can just jam the Venser here right now. I think I'll just play Soulherder with Ephemerate up. Where's my third mana? yeah, Leyland is for Endurance. Would Soulherder be too good for Pioneer? It's very good. Although there's no too many creatures that can. Oh, there's the Elvish Visionary. I don't know, and the Spirited Companion. I think it would be a little too good in the sense that it would be like almost definitely annoying and like very popular. Where like. I usually don't like to define too good as a card that breaks the format. I usually like to define too good as something that would just be like negatively impacting the format. But there's like a lot of red removal, so I don't think it would be broken. Ooh, Flibble Flip. Oh, I love Flip. I think I will just jam the Endurance here with the Ephemerate up. Breaking the format isn't a negative impact. I mean, there's different kinds of negative impacts, right? Okay, 3-2. Maybe could have won that match 4, but that was one of the hardest games I've ever played. Good to have room for improvement. Still, 3-2. Good practice for this weekend's RCQ, I guess. Not that it's totally the same, but Soldier, Ephemerate, both in historic, can barely see any play.